Hi, rainy Sunday night. It's like kind of nice though. I don't know, something soothing about the rain. I'm losing my voice a little bit, but we're gonna do a video anyway. So I wanted to run the video here. I wanted to talk a little bit about what are the standards that you have for yourself. Ideally, you've got higher standards for yourself than any coach that is coaching you. I think that if you find that your coach's standards are constantly higher for yourself than yours, then you might want to think about, how much you really expect from yourself and raising them a little bit, which obviously, we've all had to do before. So, I was thinking about work ethic today and just, kind of topics that I wanted to run tonight's video on, and thinking about like how people measure work ethic and how a lot of people measure work ethic through hours put in rather than like actually getting things done or intensity during those hours or over the course of the day, which I think is like a big mistake that a lot of people make. I definitely used to make that mistake myself. Like when I started really pushing for opening up my business, taking more of the entrepreneurial route, I worked a lot. I was working I guess 12 hours a day, but that's kind of like, my point is it felt like a lot at the time, and now I'm like, it's pretty normal for any entrepreneur, right? But, so I was working 12 hours a day, and I was driving a lot. I physically drove an hour into, an office that I was working out of every day, and, just did a lot of like meetings at night and stuff like that. So just a lot of big days. And I remember like putting my key in the door at like 10 o'clock at night sometimes and just being like, oh my gosh, I left my house at like 7. I am the hardest working person ever. Which was obviously not the case. And I remember talking to my best friend from high school, and just kind of like catching up. You know how you have those friends where you just catch up once every couple of months, and we were talking about like the changes that were going on in our life. She had recently started medical school. I had recently started on kind of starting to really open up a business essentially. And so we were catching up, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I got so much going on and I'm so busy, and like, I'm working so hard. And I remember that she told me, yeah, I totally know what you mean. Medical school is crazy. I'm like studying until 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm, working my in the hospital over the weekend so that I can get like extra, credits and things like that for during school. I remember her saying that she didn't have any time to exercise, and the hospital was only 5 miles away, so she was just going to ride her bike back and forth. And just, everything that she was saying, I was like, you are working so much harder than I. And part of the reason why I felt so like I was working so hard was because I was comparing myself to people that were on different paths, that were taking different goals. Like I was coming from the bar scene. That's what I had done previously. I attended bar. And so I was comparing myself to my bartender friends, so of course, if I compare myself to my bartender friends, that it's going to seem like I'm working so hard. They're not on track to put themselves in a very different position 12 months from then, and she had just had so much of a higher standard. Oh my gosh, I'm so busy, but I don't have time to work out. Well, I'm going to squeeze it in somehow. What? Like that wouldn't have even occurred to me. And it made me realize, like, who do I compare myself to? Is it actually somebody who's pursuing and has the same type of goals that I do? And also, just overall, what's my standard? Am I just measuring? I thought I would work so hard because I was physically out of the house for like 12 to 14 hours a day. And like, that was like my measuring stick, period. It was amount of hours. It wasn't how intense I was actually, being. It wasn't like if I was hitting my goals that I set out to hit, on a regular basis and holding myself accountable to them. None of that stuff. So it was really eye-opening, and, I've really tried to make sure that that's been the case ever since, that I don't measure how hard I'm working by hours put in, but what I'm getting done during the day and how intense I'm being. Because a successful entrepreneur, by the way, a lot of successful entrepreneurs obviously work very hard or have worked very hard, but another thing that they have in common is they get a lot done in a little time. So if they're working very hard and they're putting in a lot of hours, they're still getting 10 times more done than the average person. But a lot of successful entrepreneurs put themselves in a position too where they don't have to work super hard going forward or in a lot of hours, because they get so much done in just a short amount of hours. And that is also something that I think is really important. Again, not hours worked, what are you getting done? Anyway, that's it. Everybody have a great Sunday night. If you like the content, great. Hit subscribe right at the bottom here. I'm excited about putting out regular videos and just communicating with you guys. If you like the video, give me a little thumbs up. Everybody have a super Sunday night and have a great week. We'll see you then.